be 70 in here. I don't think I'm gonna need a hoodie. I don't think I need anything else. Wee. This one's got some bumps on it. High air server window. It's nice out today, so people outside are gonna be going nuts. It's already like 70 degrees in my studio, and I'm not even sure that it's 70 degrees outside yet. Sometimes the rib is the right tool, sometimes it's not. I'm going into this without a vision for how I'm gonna decorate this guy. Will it be flowers? Will it be jewels? Kinda like my heart wants to do like a triple moon on the top, but I don't know. Maybe I have enough slip to do that. We'll see. Alright, up here. Just can't be helped. If you like the live, you should share it. Or just tap the screen. Either is fine. I know eventually one of my regulars will come in and do it, but if you want to become a regular, a good way to do it is by liking or sharing and hanging out. I'll be your friend for free. Your free friend. Tell me anything. Ask me anything. Well, within reason, be nice. Tell me about your favorite podcast. Tell me about your favorite book. Tell me about your favorite TV show. What's your favorite anime? You want to go deeper? Let's get deep. What got you through lockdown? Did you even have to lock down? What got me through lockdown? Twitch. Played a lot of Animal Crossing with people that I didn't know. Until one day, like, a group of people came in. Okay, so here's how my stream was set up when I did Animal Crossing streams. I had a second Switch with a second town, like a town island. So I would time travel in that one, so people could request certain kind of days. If they wanted to do shooting stars was the most requested, so we'd find a shooting star day and do that. And sometimes we do like rainy days, and one day this pair of people like came in. I would just put my dodo code up on the screen, and one day this pair of people came in and they just started like ripping things up, running through my flowers. And then after that, I got very discouraged and I stopped streaming Animal Crossing altogether. So it's very, very discouraging. I don't even know if I've played any Animal Crossing since then either. It was very discouraging. I guess I played when they released the Happy Home. Because they released the game like right when we went into lockdown. And that was perfect. So I guess I didn't play again until they did the the Happy Home DLC extra game, whatever it was referred to. And I don't think I played it on stream again after that. So. Because I have to listen to video game like remix music when I'm on stream, because I stream on other platforms besides TT, like I currently am now. I've been really wanting to play Animal Crossing again, but I know that like I've tried to boot it up within the past year and I've been like, I'm good. I wish they would come out with a new DLC. I know that they said that they weren't going to do anything, but they should do it anyway and come out with a new DLC with all the stuff from Pocket Camp. Or maybe if they've secretly had another game in the works, that'd be nice too. But if Stardew just did a big DLC, I feel like Animal Crossing could. Hey, thanks for the follow, Nancy. I feel like they could and they should. We want more. If you're coming through the stream and you're an artist or a small business, make sure that you give me a follow and I will return the favor. Not right now because my hands are dirty, but after I'm done. Hard out here on these social medium applications. I have a fly that keeps buzzing past my ear. Like, just live your life away from me. I'm not gonna like chase you down. Why do you have to bother me? Looks like this one was poured in sections, in cups. Just trying to wipe out these mold lines. Neat. Thank you. Stay tuned. It's gonna get even cooler. Only just begun. taken out of it. Hey Lisa, thanks for the follow. If you're passing through, make sure, and you're an artist or a small business, make sure you give me a follow. I will return the favor as soon as I log off here. It would be silly to have to wash my hands and go stop every time somebody followed me. Okay, I think we're pretty cleaned up. I got no complaints. I was cutting up onions earlier, and I used goggles. If you watch my video where I'm doing like it's about like skull surgery or whatever, I put on some goggles. Those are the ones that I do. They're kind of like sunglasses, and they worked pretty well. I only got like really teared up once, twice, 3 times, lady. Twice. And I cut like 6 onions, so if you feel silly wearing goggles while you're cutting onions, don't. Alright, we're gonna cut into this guy. Make sure y'all can see. It's already got just like an indentation that shows me where to cut. But sometimes in these molds, I do have to figure it out on my own. Oh my gosh, who's been liking? Thank you for the likes. Oh, I appreciate the likes. If you like the live, tap the screen. If you know somebody else who would like the live, share it. Might be able to squish these pieces together. The real Jordan liked the live. Thanks. I see that now. Thank you for your likes. If you're coming through and you're an artist or a small business, make sure that you give me a follow and I will return the favor once the live is over. Or shortly thereafter. I'm on my phone all the time. One eye done. joined. Do they like know how annoying they are? Are they being annoying on purpose? Who knows? The world may never know. That's just not necessary. I know that there is some noise that is necessary to operate a motorcycle, if that was a motorcycle. I have to assume. It's not necessary. Is the live frozen? It was like moving. Taylor hasn't said anything, and that's not like her. Okay. People are coming through. Maybe she accidentally clicked on the live. Didn't mean to come in yet. That's just fine. Sorry, friend, doing bath time, but still wanted to watch. Okay. I wouldn't have said anything if, like, the activity on the screen hadn't, like, stopped. But you're fine. Do what you gotta do. I'll be here when you're ready. If you're passing through the live and you're an artist or a small business, please make sure that you give me a follow and I will return the favor. So, just a little. I've been playing Pokemon trading card game, the Game Boy version on Switch, like their Game Boy app. And I remember, I'm pretty sure that game came out around the same time that like Red and Blue came out here in America when I was a kid. And I feel like that game is slept on because it has been like insane. Like you get to a certain point when you're replaying, like when you're just playing these Pokemon games and it's the same thing over and over. And it's very like, I guess, easy once you get the certain Pokemon. This trading card game is insanely difficult. Like, I don't know. I think everything's randomized. Like, when you get your booster packs. So, it's crazy. Whoa, amazing. Thank you, MK. Thank you. Stay tuned. It's gonna get even cooler once I get all these cutouts done and start adding stuff to it. And again, anybody that's passing through, if you're an artist or a small business, give me a follow and I will return the favor after live is over. It's got like crumbs is sticking inside. I'm gonna do just these 3 cutouts. It's supposed to be a split from here and then 2 cutouts here. So I'm gonna do that. There's a lot of people coming through today. Doesn't usually happen until I get a few thousand likes, so welcome. Welcome to the people passing through. If you like my stuff, please give me a follow. If you like the live, tap the screen. If you know somebody else that you think would like my stuff, make sure you share either the live or my profile with them so they can come find me. That'd be extremely helpful because I got a lot of credit cards and student loan debt to pay off. Almost the weekend. Tell me what you guys are doing this weekend. Did that already. Thank you, watch. I think it's going to be nice here in Portland, Oregon this weekend. So, yard work has to be done. At least one of these days. I seeded my garden beds. I have raised beds. No vegetables this year. We're just doing flowers this year. Cut flowers. I seeded them last weekend. I do not have the time this year to devote to vegetables. And last year I didn't get a great harvest. I have to be honest. We had like right after, a couple weeks after I seeded all my vegetables and planted my starts, we had a heat dome and it killed a lot of my plants. I did get watermelons though, and a few cucumbers, and lots of tomatoes, but then I went to freeze all the tomatoes, and the guy that was staying at my house for a little bit left the freezer open and I lost everything in the freezer, so a lot of work. Oh, if I'll leave that as it is. One day I'm going to find a text sheet for this. I'm sure if I look, I'll find it. I think this is a Kimple mold. And the text sheets show you how it's supposed to look like when it's all trimmed up. And if you choose to glaze it, what glaze they use. So there's a Facebook group where you can find old text sheets for molds to see what they're supposed to look like. One day I will remember. It's not necessary to be so loud and annoying. It's starting to get warmer. It only went up like a degree, but I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. So I think I'm going to turn the air conditioner on. And it's not the first time this year that I've had to do it. Oddly enough. Just cleaning up these rough edges. I expect that when somebody buys this, they're going to hang it on their wall, but I want to make sure that if it ever comes off the wall and somebody's handling it, it does not cut them. So I'm going to make sure all your edges are clean, and it's easier to do it before the first firing, because after it's fired, then you have to sand it, and that's a pain in the butt. I'm gonna give my fingies a little rinse and turn on the air conditioner, and then I'll be right back. Okay. Shape of this one overhead view to see what I'm doing. Hopefully I don't hit it too much. I'll wedge these little bits together. So I want to have enough clay for a little cutout. And I gotta go find that cookie cutter that I want to use too. Hey, thanks for the follow, Magnetic. I'm not gonna say the rest of that. But thank you for the follow over on Twitch. Hope you're having a great day. Putting some like slip inside of it to bring it to a workable consistency. I hope the air conditioner isn't like too overwhelming with sound. I'm a little bit overstimulated from it. But once it gets cooler, it'll shut down anyway. Aw, snap. Michelle's here. Hello. No habla español. Except for that. So did you say Andrew was testing for a belt today? Did he get it? Was he testing for a belt? Or was it something else? Tell me. Yes, he got his yellow stripe. Let's go! Let's go. Escapism to desire. Thank you for liking the live. Thanks for the likes, y'all. I know I just got here, but I just away. Great put on a show. Love you. Bye. Love you. Thanks for hanging out for a second. Appreciate any time that you spend. Oh, I got it, girl. Alright, I gotta grab cookie cutter because I need to know how big I need this piece of clay to be in if I need to find more clay to sacrifice for it. Oh, there it is. Easy peasy. Boom. Did I already do one? Yeah, I did. I must be obsessed. It's fine. I gotta make dozens, so. Yeah, I just noticed the other one. We'll do the triple moon and we'll do a bunch of flowers. I know I have some bits of clay in here. Just gonna like take some bits where I can get them, squish them all together until I have enough. There's a random bit. Finally starting to feel a little bit better in here. I can like feel my cheeks. Uh-oh. Okay, that's not too bad that I can't fix it. Could also break it away. I'm gonna put this one back in there. I can fix it. Okay, there we go. Man, best purchase. I had to drill a hole in the wall in the garage to get this air conditioner in here, but it's gonna be great once it gets hot again. Push this back just a tiny bit. Otherwise I'm gonna hit it and break it. We're gonna have problems. This is how I wedge little pieces of clay. I don't think my husband's gonna come through, but if he does, I want to show him the name of my new follower on Twitch, because it is great. What do we think? Is it homogeneous? Okay. It's gonna like look very silly for a little bit. Just a reminder to those passing through. If you're an artist or a small business, please make sure that you give me a follow and I will return the favor. Just want to make sure people know. I'm here to support. This is essentially the same way that I throw my clay out to make a slab, just in smaller form. Like usually it's a huge hunk of clay. This is how I do it. I just give it a quarter turn each time. If you start doing one side and then just flipping it over to the other side, it'll start to get flat. But we need it to be just a little bit longer than this. This side's getting a little out of control. Also, press, because it's little. Little and round. Roll it out. If you wet your surface and it's a little bit of an absorbent surface, then it will help get water into the clay. It's cracking because it doesn't have enough water in it. Slap it with force. Until it's about the right size. It's close. Flip it and roll it out this way. And get it as close to even as possible. Doesn't matter that much at this size. I'm going to take my rib, plastic kidney, whatever you call it. I call it a rib. It's not really kidney shaped. I call the kidney ones ribs. Just compressing the clay down. Lining up the particles. There's a bunch of little fuzzies in here. I think that's from my overalls because I'm wearing corduroy. So that happened. Okay. Maybe to do this one a little bit different. I had it horizontally on the other one. I think I'm going to do this one vertically. Change it up a bit. Take this clay, smush it back together, and throw it in my wet box over here so that I can reuse it for whatever else I need to use it for. Making another cookie cutter piece, pulling stuff out of press molds, whatever. Guess I'm feeling a little bit chatty today. just be boom, and I don't know what else my brain was trying to say. Maybe wah? Wah? Okay, so placement. Looks nice. It's kind of a guideline. Fix our ring. Use the scoring tool. Just gonna put a little more moisture. Not a sopping wet sponge. Just a damp sponge. So it's not too much. Man, what are y'all constantly thinking about right now? Because I can't stop thinking about the Fallout TV show, even though like we finished watching it a couple days ago. The Pokemon trading card game. And then I've been doing a lot of like, I don't know, studying about how to post on the social media apps, which is exhausting. I always felt like Reddit was a good like resource for that kind of stuff, but you go into like the help TikTok help Reddit and people are just like, I got 1 million views, I got 1 million followers, and now people aren't watching my stuff. What's going on? And I'm like, I'm not there. Don't even know if I want to be there. I just really like it if the people that would like to buy my things saw my stuff. That's it. I'm a simple person. That one is clogged. Let's see if the little one's not clogged. There's a lot of people that are like, just make better content, lol. Make good content. They're not showing it to people. There we go. Which, you know, rude. Anyway. I have to say it. I have to say it a few times. 1 million times. If you're passing through, or if you're watching and you're not already following, and you're an artist or a small business, make sure you give me a follow. will return the favor after the live is over. Trying to make friends. Free friendship right here. Okay. I feel like I remember using that red handle brush. Wait a sec, I gotta get the lid back on my slip trailer bottle thingy majigger. Clean it up. Alright, what else? What else are we gonna put on here? Big flowers, little flowers, gems, dots, free friendship. And there are a lot of lonely people out there. I'll be your friend. For free. Just, you gotta be low maintenance. Warrior Squirrel says I sure could use a friend. I'll be your friend, Warrior Squirrel. Let's be friends. I have to get some class stuff done. I love your face. I love your face back, Taylor. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you. I'll be yours. Awesome. New friendship made. What's going on, friend? That is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Stay tuned, because it's gonna get better. Maybe. If I decide what else to do with it. I'm like kind of at an impasse right now. I don't even know if that's the right term. Going through a rough time, but I'll get by. Sorry to hear that. Do you want to talk about it? We don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. You're gonna make it through it though. Painting? Glazing? I don't even think about that for a while. My air conditioning is... Hopefully you guys can still hear me. My air conditioning is quite loud. But, so right now, obviously we're in the clay making stage, and the stuff that I'm gonna add on to it, probably flowers. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Lost your job, financial issues. Ugh. I'm so sorry to hear that. That is tough. Tough, tough, tough. Has it been a while or is it recent? April Fool's Day, of course. Of course. So it's been a couple weeks. What do you do, if you don't mind sharing? draw unemployment because I owe them from the pandemic. Social worker. What does that even mean? I owe them. Like, what does that mean? Like, what? Ugh, that's hard work too. Oh, I bet you've seen some crap. That's bogus. Owing them from the pandemic. If they decided 2 years later that they shouldn't have given it to me, so now whatever I can draw will go towards the balance. Yes, it is. That. How is that legal? How is that legal? Ugh. That is, been fighting it for 2 years. Good question. That is, yeah, it doesn't even sound legal. Gosh. Well, it's such an important job, and they treat their workers like crap, as most places do, but, like, what an extra slap in the face. Social work is so important, and they're crappy, and you don't deserve it. I already have a job lined up, but before I had to leave, even before I had to leave, oh, that's good. I'll wait for you to finish the rest of that. But I will be contacted at least a month before I get a good payday. That is rough. That is rough. Ugh. So unfair. I'd say at least there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So unfair. I hope that you're able to get some sort of justice, because that just doesn't sound right. I'm door dashing, thank you. Been beating myself up. Don't. It's not helping to beat yourself up, so, feel your feelings and look forward. Everything's going to be good real soon. I bet this next job is going to be better. It's probably going to be a really good opportunity for you. Man, door dashing. That, like, those door dashers, people that do delivery services like that, braver than the troops. They are the backbone of this society. I have nothing but respect for them. Yes, I sent this payment agreement, but they want to admit I lied and I will not sign. It was an old employer, but contacted and is more manageable. Well, you probably mean contracted. What can you do? Like, they're just messing you over. Well, social workers go to dangerous situations. Yes, that's true. Contracted, yes. Hey, Mud Creek. Thanks for liking the live, April. I'll make payments. I will not sign it. There's gotta be, like, I don't know who you have for, like, legal counsel, but there's gotta be, like, some, like, resource. Like, you know, when people are dealing with housing issues, there's, like, housing authority. There's gotta be somebody that can give you guidance. I would not sign it, I'll tell you that much. No problem, Chica. Appreciate you, April. You cannot get legal aid to help. Sheesh. So messed up. I'm sorry that this happened to you, and you do not deserve it. Several colleagues got it. Thank you, I appreciate that. Like I said, feeling pretty beat down. Autocorrect is a pain in the butt. Yeah, that's shady. Sounds shady to me. I'm a warrior with ADHD. There you go. Well, I'm in the same boat. I'm so tempted to write POTUS, lol. I mean, if not, uh, if not like going that, I feel like you might not get anywhere, obviously, with writing the president, but writing your local, come on, brain, we can do this. Writing your local representatives, or even like talking about it with the news. Listen, being older adult with ADHD is a whole new world. I feel you. I feel you. Some days everything seems insurmountable. Like, I've got depression on top of everything that like comes and goes when it feels like it. So some days I get hit with like extreme executive dysfunction and I feel like crap and I'm just in a whole cycle. Princess Bubblegum, this whole situation sounds awful. I feel for this person. That was over on Twitch. Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like evil. Contacting local news, I've contacted state commissioner. I'm like, is it my age or my squirrels? And yes, depression and anxiety. It's like a psh, psh, like 1-2 punch. I've got anxiety too. Like, I got it all. Everything, it seems like everything is like stacked against, so I understand how hard it is to function. Yeah, I didn't want to suggest things that you may have already done, but like, I don't know. It seems messed up. There's got to be somebody. Tell Princess thanks. Princess Bubblegum, thank you for real. Yes. Yeah, it seems like something that like could be super scandalous. No, you're being amazing. Just being able to get it off my chest. I'm here to listen. Princess Bubblegum said, "Of course, thank you for putting yourself on the line for the endangered." I agree. Also agree that social workers are braver than the troops. We need more of them, and we need to pay them better and not freaking trick them into paying back money from the pandemic. That's so ridiculous. Think about how many people got away with, like, they got PPP loans forgiven, and they got away with spending these PPP loans on insane stuff. I love being a social worker, but yes, I'm a bit burnt out. It does feel like a trick. Social work was one of the things that I considered getting into um, for a short time. I just I don't have it, you know? Like, it takes a lot of emotional fortitude. Like, it takes a lot. And it's very easy to get burnt out. I've heard of, um, what is it, compassion fatigue? It happens in, like, situations where you're caring for other people. I think that's what it's called. Right, the PPP loans. Don't get me started. Princess Bubblegum says, I would have such a hard time separating my emotions between work and home. Same. I couldn't. I absolutely couldn't. I would just want to bring everybody home. Uh-huh. Like, absolutely. Absolutely. I can handle the scary stuff. It's the paperwork that did me in. I believe it. Yes, compassion fatigue. You learn to leave it at the door. I'm sure eventually, you know, you get used to it or it consumes you. I did work in animal rescue, and the way that people treat animals, I mean, I feel like sometimes they're a little bit better about animals than they are about people, but it's just so hard. It's self-preservation. You can only do so much. Exactly. You know, I don't I don't want to say that like it might be a good thing that you were kind of given the opportunity to um, leave that place if it wasn't the right time for you, but I hope that, you know, when you're able to look back, I hope that it turns out it was the right move for you. Oh my, I might get violent over animals. Like, it the rescue that I did, it's breed specific. So I was on the board of a corgi rescue. I volunteered with them for a while before I got on the board, and just the conditions. I was on the East Coast, so in the DC metro area, and we dealt with the uh, Amish puppy mills, and we would get dogs frequently from there. And it's just they really treat their animals like property and like crap, and they just like they breed them and breed them and breed them until they get hurt or they can't breed anymore, and then they dump them. Move on. I was relieved. I do not miss it, just scared financially. I completely understand that. Corgi, I'm in West Virginia. I was in DC and I grew up in Virginia before I moved here. I think it's been 3 years now since I moved out to Oregon. I had to escape the swamp. The summers were so brutal that I just locked myself inside. And here the summers are a bit better. Yeah, it was a lot of um, a lot of that, but a lot of people too. And there's this stigma with the adopt don't shop people, and if you're an adopt don't shop person, like, that's fine. I'm not like judging you. I do believe that there are a lot of animals in, that need to be, like, you should go to a rescue or a shelter and adopt from there if you can. But with breed specific rescue, like, people have certain expectations about how the dog looks and how the dog is going to be, and a lot of it is just completely neglect or not having the right knowledge when it comes to the breed. So corgis are working dogs. They're very adorable, but they need jobs, or they can become dangerous. They will nip at little children. That was one of the most frequent reasons that people would turn over their dogs. And my rescue that I have, he was surrendered because they were afraid of him biting the kid. I'm a rescue person, but that could include breeds. It's just like healthy, purebred dogs are like key to maintaining like certain like breeds. When you think about things like puppy mills and they're just breeding to make more dogs, they're not really putting a whole lot of thought in the dogs that they're breeding, and sick dogs come out, and those sick dogs end up in shelters and become other people's problems, essentially. So I'm all about like responsible breeders, people that follow like breed standard, people that test for diseases. With corgis, it's hip dysplasia, it's DM, degenerative myelopathy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but like that stuff is genetic. Von Willebrand's disease, like, testing is important. You don't want to be breeding these dogs that are going to be sick later just to make a short-term profit. If I had ever had a chance to adopt a hairless cat, me too. Oh my god, I love hairless cats. But I probably would get it from a responsible breeder if my husband would let me have a cat. Oh yes, we have that with hunting dogs around here. Or to have a trophy. Yeah. Like, there's good things about responsible breeding that create healthy, happy animals. They breed selectively to create the best traits in the dogs so that they're healthy. Like, you get a dog from a good breeder, you're gonna have less vet bills in the end. Princess Bubblegum said, I have yet to hear the Amish being good to their animals. I'm sorry if you said that a long time ago. I hope you're still in here. They're just not. They treat the animals like property there. I would adopt it. I have 2 kitties, a blonde orange girl tabby. I love I miss having a cat. I haven't had a cat in a really long time. And my husband will not let me get another animal right now, which is probably good financially for us because I am not working. I am doing art full time and I only pull in money when I'm selling stuff. So, but yeah, I could go on about uh, animals and rescue forever. A Russian blue short-tailed boy who's 20. Okay, so you have a blonde orange girl tabby, so an orange cat, and a Russian blue short-tailed boy. 20 pounds. That's a heavy cat. That's a heavy cat. Did I have a point? I think I wandered from it. Overarchingly, I do think that if you can handle a mixed bag when it comes to a shelter pet, some of them are completely fine and you never have any issues. Uh, my rescue corgi was bought from a breeder when by the dad in the family, and they had just had a baby, and the dad worked all the time and the mom was home with the baby and the dogs, and she didn't have time to train the dogs because she had a baby. It was just not the right time. So they left my dog and their other dog out on the porch for most of the day. So my dog has this weird thing about when you leave a room or you try to close a door in front of him, he will lunge at your feet. And the first night that we had him, he bit my husband. So he's a bite risk. He bit somebody else before, but he's like really like anxious and he has attachment issues. And a lot of people would not be able to cater to a dog like that. Like, he goes out on walks rarely. We used to live in DC, like in the city, and he would try to, lunge at other dogs. And we took him to a trainer, and the trainer was like, you just kind of have to be defensive with this guy. Like, if you're walking on the other side, if somebody's coming up to you, you're walking down the street, you need to cross the street. Like, you need to avoid situations. And lockdown made it worse because he was just trapped in the house with us all the time. Orange buff, actually very rare to be female breeding. So it's like the tortie female tortoiseshell cats. He's scared. He's definitely scared. I never thought of a corgi as aggressive. My big boy thinks he's a dog. I had a chihuahua that thought she was a cat because she was raised by cats. Before I got the corgis, they overlapped for a few years. She passed away a couple years ago now. But yeah, corgis can be, and it's very easy if you cannot cater to their needs, if you cannot give them a job to do, like they can become very aggressive, like, and frustrated. Like, they're so smart. No, they called her Buff at vets. Told me she's rare. Got it. Moo. Aww. Moo's a great name. So yeah, I mean, I know it can happen, that kind of stuff can happen with any dog, but corgis, anytime that there's like a show that features a corgi, or like corgis are in the news for something, like we would get an influx within a couple months of surrenders in the rescue because people are like, oh my god, I just can't handle this dog. They need space and they need a job, and like, or they'll go crazy. So we have a house, we have a yard. My dogs, I think they get a decent, my older corgi is lazy. And the other guy, he likes to follow us around the house. I think that's his job. He thinks he's an escort. And then the older corgi guards the house. Like, she spends most of the day in the window. Like, it's her job, making sure that she lets us know when people are walking by the house. Maine Coon can be aggressive. Maine Coon are huge. Chunky Boy's Howard. So they're herding dogs. They are. And it's like a natural instinct. Like, my dogs will herd us. And that was a lot of the problems with people who had kids. Princess Bubblegum said, that's most working dogs do. They need a job or they get stir crazy. Exactly. And I know a lot of people don't realize that. And that's why a lot of those dogs get surrendered. So, like, when you're going into a shelter and you're looking for, like, a specific kind of dog, like, you just have to accept that it's going to be a mixed bag. And for some people, a lot of people, here's the problem with the rescue. They expected you to already have corgi experience. And in order to have corgi experience without rescuing a corgi, you have to get it from a breeder. So it seemed kind of like weird and circular. Not the same thing with a shelter. So if a shelter dog, they don't really care if you have experience with the dog. Princess Bubblegum said, hardly anyone does research for the animals they bring into their lives. Very true. Very true. I have to say, when I was looking at corgis, it was definitely because they were cute, but we adapted our life essentially to kind of fit our dogs. Like, we were in a house, so we kind of had that down, and I did lots of training with my first corgi, and then got into the rescue and got my rescue corgi a little bit later, so I had gone through all of the worst stuff, I think, with my corgi and had enough experience, at least for them, to do it. Howard does that and expects everyone who comes to visit. Yeah, that's my corgi. That's silly. When I got Moo Christmas Eve 10 years ago, I had to sign a bunch of agreements. Was that from a shelter? Just realized I've been jabbing, slapping my gums. This thing's drying up. I still haven't decided what I want to do with it. She was a rescue. Got it. Yeah, I don't think that it's a bad idea to make sure, like, in rescue, that the people have experience. It's just, if you're in the mindset of, like, adopt, don't shop, you want to go through a rescue first, you're going to have a hard time getting a dog. Because they want to see that you have that experience. But they paid for all their care for the first 6 months, including spaying and shots. That's very nice. That's nice. Oh my goodness. My Chihuahua, I got her from a friend who was breeding her Chihuahuas, essentially, backyard breeder. She had the most issues. I think they ended up giving me the runt of the litter. I was young and dumb. I didn't get her spayed because I thought that I was going to breed her, and didn't drop the idea of breeding her until I heard a story about a guy who had a dog. He saw my dog and he was telling me I had a dog her size. I tried to breed her. She died in childbirth. And then I was like, well, I don't want to lose my dog, so I definitely had to think about it. I got Howard from a friend who was fostering him. He really is a chunky boy who thinks he's a Great Dane. Aww. There was a bit more overlap between my Chihuahua and my first Corgi. So my first Corgi does some cat-like things that I know she learned from my Chihuahua, who learned it from the cats that we were living with. And it's funny to like recognize and see those things. It's just such a... My Chihuahua was such a sweetie. I want another Chihuahua too. I gotta make more money. 2 cats I had before Howard and Moo. Maggie and Marmalade. I lost Maggie 7 years ago. Oh, Marmalade is... Maggie's a great name. Moo is a great name. I like Marmalade too, though. Marmalade passed 10 years ago. Oh, that's a... It's a great name, especially for an old cat. Okay, what are we doing? What are we gonna... I'm gonna pull out some flowers or something. And we'll place them and we'll see if we like them. They lived a very long time. Marmalade was the demon cat, my parents' cat. How old was Marmalade when they passed? My friend, I think they had a cat live until like their 20s. And I thought that was so crazy. I also thought I recently heard something like in the news about some sort of vaccine or treatment and that is going to enable cats to live until their 30s. I'm going to have to Google it and get back to y'all. But I thought that was crazy. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna move you guys up. Okay, hold on. Gotta scroll back a little bit. They lived a very long time. Marmalade was the demon cat. I saw that. But when she came to me, she changed. She was 19 when she passed. Wow. I think she was 10. Yeah, there's a cure for... Is FIV feline leukemia? Or... Yeah, feline leukemia. I'm feeling desert flowers. I don't know. I think I've got some, like, roses that could be considered desert flowers. Okay, hold on. No. Dang, you waited this long? I'm good. Magnetic. Thanks for the offer, I guess. Yeah, roses work. Maggie was 17. I got her at 5 weeks. It crushed me. Oh, that was so long. Yeah, I got my Chihuahua somewhere around 7 weeks, and she lived to 15, but when I got her, I became homeless shortly thereafter. She went to stay with my old best friend's mom for like a year or so until I got back on my feet. And when we lived in DC, we were right next to the metro lines, and that's where she would have to pee every morning. She hated living in the city, so my friend's mom moved out to the country in North Carolina, and she had been asking every time I'd see her, she'd be like, you know, what do you think about Ger coming to live back with me? And I was just like, I think this is what's gonna be what's best for her. So I think she was like 13 when we sent her to go live with my friend's mom, and then she passed shortly after a few months after her 15th birthday. Moo is 10, Howard is 7. My older Corgi Lemmy is going to be 8 next month, and then my younger rescue Dory is going to be 7 in June. If you're lucky, especially in our 20s, we have that one pet. I've been in that situation. It's hard. Definitely. Yeah. It's ultimately, was there to do what was best for her. I feel like it was kind of the perfect situation, getting her out of the loud city and somewhere quiet with somebody that she never forgot. Absolutely. My friend's mom was her second mom, and she loved her so much, and you could tell. So it was, yeah, the best, I think the best option for her. It was sad because, probably for the last year that she was with her, every other, like, conversation with my friend's mom was, I think it's going to be time soon. I think it's going to be time soon. So by the time it was actually time, I was just like, oh, okay, I guess it's actually time now. And I didn't get to see her one last time because of lockdown. So, and because I moved on the other side of the country. Alright, what do we got? Do I have a big one? I've got these, like, 4-leaf. I think these are, like, wild roses. I think. But they're the ones that always break in the molds, so I don't know if I have enough of them. I'd like to have, like, a few. A nice little clump or cluster. That's not that. I know there was a bigger one, too. Here's another little one. I wish I had a cactus. It does kind of look like dogwood, doesn't it? Maggie and I went through hell and back together. Lost both of my parents. And 6 months before I lost Maggie, I lost my life partner of 27 years. Oh. Looks like dogwood. It does look, I already said that. It does look like dogwood. That kind of looks like flowers. Roses. So if the roses have 5 petals, then I know it's probably closer to those guys. And I have a few of them. I just have to clean them up. I have some little guys too. I don't know that I need this many. I do like a little cluster. What's your art you do? Thanks. Maybe some kind of grassy stuff? Anything that I do that's grassy, I will have to do, like, physically draw it on. I don't want this to look too... I don't want to, like, obscure it. Put it on so much that it obscures the moon. think I can make those fit in a way that looks cohesive. So it would have to be like a cluster. We might have to go in a different direction. I'm gonna mess that up, it's a little too big. Two or three, then stars. I think I'm gonna have to like think on it for a little bit. I really thought that by the time I got this far, I would have an idea what to do. Can't recall a time in my life I did not have a cat living with me besides college. That was like, I got my first cat at like 7 years old, and then I had always had a cat around until my 20s, my early 20s. I'm 38 now. And then there were these cats that were found in a drain, these kittens that were found in a drain pipe. My friend at the time was doing cat rescue, and these cats were supposed to go to the vet. They had, I don't even know what they had. Whatever it was, they were like really, really sick, and they were supposed to get medication while they were there, but somebody forgot to give it. So the cat came back to me, and I was thinking it'd be fine. It had its medication, and then it died. And after that, I was like, I don't know if I can have another cat for a while. So I had a roommate that had a cat for a couple years when we got my first corgi. And then since I haven't lived with anybody with a cat, I miss cats. It's beautiful. I was born with a cat in 58. Yeah, I wanted a cat so bad when I was like 7. My parents were like, I don't know, very hands off with me and my siblings, and kind of expected us to take care of ourselves. They were working a lot, so until my dad wasn't. Um, but at 7, I feel like everything happened. I got my ears pierced, and then I got a cat, and they were like, "You got to take care of this cat." We had a kitty who looked like Moo ages ago, and he lived a year. He had FIV. His name. I had a cat with FIV too that I got from like a colony. He was just like randomly. Was the colony in the trailer park I was staying in? Or did I get it from my apartment and brought it back to the trailer? I can't remember. It's not relevant. I don't think. But I had to deal with a cat. He was missing all of his teeth. So he drooled. His tongue stuck out. He's very cute. Major Tom. That's a great name. Great name for a cat. Mine was Professor Grumbles. The one with feline leukemia, at least. His name was Professor Grumbles. So cute. Okay. I think it's almost 7 o'clock and I still have to cook dinner. I am gonna put this guy in the wet box and give it a think about what else I'm gonna do. to it. I think it needs a little something else. Just a little something something. Maybe I'll print out a pattern or something and do some dots. Awesome name, thanks. Thanks for hanging out with me. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. That's what friends do. Vines, maybe vines. Yeah, I did one where I did like the string of pearls. Maybe something like that. I'll figure it out. I want to make sure that you can still see this, and I don't want to like obscure too much. So vines or string of pearls coming out, maybe on either side, flowers. I'm trying to keep it, I guess, somewhat symmetrical since it's right down the middle. I can't do asymmetrical on one side. So, like, could like hang some vines around here. We'll think about it. I also need to reclaim some slip so I have enough slip. So, all right, I am going to put this guy in the wet box, close it up, wash my hands, and then I'm gonna sign off. For anybody that's still passing through or watching, if you're an art account or a business account, please give me a follow and I will give you a follow back. If you like my stuff and you want to find me later, give me a follow. If you're over on YT or Twitch, give me a follow or a sub. If you want to find me again, I'll be back tomorrow, probably around the same time. It might be early tomorrow. I have to go to Costco. So, I do this. You love ceramics? Can't wait to see. I can't wait for it to be done. I gotta move. I gotta keep moving on to the next thing. I have a Oddities and Curiosities Expo in October here, and it's supposed to be like really busy, and I have a lot of stuff that I need to make because I'm trying to make as much money as possible, obviously. But yeah, thanks everybody that's hanging out, that's been hanging out. Thank you, Squirrel, for hanging out with me. I hope that I'm gonna wait till I get back to the phone if you're still there. I hope that everything with your job works out, and in the in-between until you get there, I hope that you're able to get by and you don't have any issues, and that this is the start of a awesome new chapter for you. Thank you again for hanging out with me. First gonna say goodbye on Twitch.